Now in the Boozang versioning control, we also support stash. So let me illustrate stash for you. This is very similar to git stash. Let's say I'm in my feature branch. I'm going to switch to my feature branch here. This could be any branch. And as you know, when we go to modifications here, we see no changes here. This would be the similar view as the git add. So let me do a change. I'm now going into module B and I'm creating a test called test B, okay? Inside module B. When I have this test, we will be able to see it in the change list here. And normally you would work on this and then you would maybe commit this, right? But let's say you don't want to do that. Let's say, well, I was wondering how I wanted to go back to the head of the branch, but I don't want to revert my changes. I just want to compare to the branch original state to see, was this really working? Was it not? Similar like you would do with git stash. So go in here and go ahead and stash the changes, right? And now I'm going back to my module B. And as you can see, where is my test B? The test B has been stashed. So now I could test certain things in the tool. Let's say, how was it working before? Was my changes good or not? And then I can go back here. And now instead, I click on the stash list. And I can now see my stash here in the list. So now what I can do is, I can simply pop this stash, meaning bring this change back. And here, if you want to learn more about stash and stash pop, you can look at also the documentation on Git around this very well documented feature. Now, when I go back into my module, I will now see my test B. So stash is very useful. You're working on something, you think you want to commit your work, but maybe you want to go back to the top of the branch before you did these changes, see what was going on there, compare it, and then maybe just pop it before you do the commit. So this is git stash for you, which I think is very useful, not as you don't do it as frequent as your regular commit or regular merges, but useful in some cases where you think you might have made a mistake.